Good morning. Just a reminder for those who were in Monday's live session and then instructions for those who weren't. Um, the topic that we're doing at the moment, the hardware topic, we've looked at input and output devices, peripherals, mice, keyboards, joysticks, game controllers, etc. And output devices such as monitors, visual display units, speakers, and many others. Um, We've then looked at main memory, that's cache, flash memory in the computer, solid state drives, hard disks, standard hard disks, just spin-in hard disks. Then we've gone into secondary storage for the solid state drives, the hard disks, SD cards, mini SD cards, memory sticks, and also cloud storage. There's some questions on that as an assignment that I've asked people to do. The next assignment is looking at hardware for the end user. So the task is the Abeedi family here. So I'm going to load up the PDF, although you'll have a Google Docs document that you're to edit yourself. But I'm just going to load the PDF because it allows me to download it and open it in a new window. So if I in fact open it in a new window, that'll come up. And so it tells me the Abeedi family live in Newport, South Wales. Read through everything. They're looking for your interest and understanding of what you've picked up so far. Now, what we haven't picked up so far is information about how a processor works or what it does. But we know about processors. We know processors are part of the computer system. We know some terminology to do with it, the clock speed. And then there's some other information such as the number of cores on processor. And we look at that in subsequent lessons. All right, but the central processing unit is the Intel processor. It's the AMD Athlon processor or Ryzen processor. They're 3 gigahertz, they're 4 gigahertz, they're 4.3 gigahertz, whatever their size happens to be. So the faster they are, normally the better they are, although the number of cores on a processor affects it. And when we look at main memory, the amount of RAM you've got on a computer, in secondary storage, the amount of gigabytes or terabytes that you've got on your hard disk is sometimes very important for the running of the computer system. So with the Abeedi family task, I'm just looking at you picking out the key parts for what Alina, who is the mother, she manages a team of sales engineers across the UK. She's looking at wearable technology, like things like Google Watch, iPhone Watch, and so on. All right, Apple Watch, sorry, and things like that. Or it could be headsets, Bluetooth earpieces, earbuds, whatever it is that you think might fit her requirements, which are listed in here. She's also looking for a PC back at home. She's also looking for a laptop as well, and she wants to upgrade her smartphone. So all I want you to do is to go have a look at what her requirements are and get rid of all the nonsense text that's not required and just basically make a list of what's required. Same with her daughter Bethera, 15, and has asked her parents for her own computer. Let's assume she's going to get it. She's been a good girl and she's going to get her own computer. The old desktop computer can't find that she can do the work properly. It's not compatible with software in school and so on either. So she wants something. She wants Wi-Fi around the house. Although we haven't done networking as yet, I want you to just have a little think about how your network works at your home or your friend's home, family's home, or whatever. And if you're not too sure about that, we'll pick up on that as we do the networking element of the course, and we'll add to this. But looking at her hardware, she also wants a lightweight notebook, only a cheap one. Could be maybe even a Chromebook or something like that, or a tablet maybe to take to college and at home so she can just prepare notes and that sort of thing. All right, so nothing much there because she's going to have a PC at home, a bit more powerful there, and she wants to be able to synchronize her mobile phone with it and so on. But also, she will need a notebook or a portable device to take back and forth to college. It is a lot, but don't worry about cost at this point. And not to worry about the cost. We're just going to look at the components and the terminology used in these components. So, and now Ajmal's son is 17. He's a keen musician. What I'm really getting at here with all of Ajmal's here, he wants to do videos as well. Now he wants a lot of memory storage space, and he'll also want some good graphics capabilities. So maybe a graphics card with a GPU included. In class, we should looked at a few of those online and the costs attributed to them and so on. He wants a laptop and some peripheral devices, maybe for his music as well. And he wants to be able to play collaborative, high quality and high resolution. So we're looking for high quality, high resolution means high amount of storage and also fast storage. So maybe a solid state hard disk that will allow fast access to some of these files and so on. Wants to be online as well and suggest necessary hardware and so on. There's no rights or wrongs. I just want your ideas of it. Now, what I've listed below is for each person, summarize what their needs are and their technical requirements. And then secondly, use these websites. So Ironside PCs, PC Part Picker, and ebuyer.com. I haven't put a link on there, but if you go back to the class itself, in here, there's a link to those three. eBuyer I've used many times in the past, and then other students told me about these two. So if you find any other useful sites which have these sort of things, if I go to Ironside Computers, for example, there are ready-made systems here. So let's go to desktops and let's go to workstations, and eventually it loads up with some systems started. They're quite expensive, but I really don't care at this point. I'm just looking at the components in there, and there we are. We've got a number of these things. So it says about what's in these: silver, gold, and etc. All right, so we could maybe compare these. So let's go and have a look at this. Oh, it's an Intel Core processor. It's got a graphics card with 8 gigabytes on, 32 gigabytes RAM memory. That's the main memory on the computer. 512 gigabyte solid state drive and 2 terabyte hard drive included as well. That's the back end. That'll be a secondary storage. So there's 2 secondary storage devices, solid state drive, which is fast access, and also a hard drive, a spinning one, but with much more storage on it. So maybe we'll have a look at that, and that may be part of what we'll have for him. I'm also going to use another website. Let's go back here to eBuyer, and if I look at laptops or the components or a graphics card on its own or gaming desktops, hard drives on its own, let's go and have a look at laptops. And it will have laptops here, again, with similar sort of terminology that I just want you to, if I go back to the specification, as part of the task include the name and an image and a cost for each of the pieces of hardware that you're going to have in the laptop. You should also explain 1 to 2 lines the purpose of each of the components. Now, to do that, you need to go back through the notes and the presentations that we did for main memory, for secondary storage, for input-output devices, and just explain to the 3 of them, Bithera, Ajmal, and Alina, just explain to them the purpose of each component that they get in. They might know a lot, but let's not assume that. And it just builds up your knowledge as well, just by doing a bit of background reading. So each family member understands the role played by the component described. And as I say, in subsequent lessons, we will then go through the processor, central processor, how the processor works, what it does, and how it interacts with other elements of hardware. All right. Any questions? Email me, and this is on the Wednesday morning, so email me, and in Friday's session I will go through in a live session further pieces of hardware in and around the computer.